Urgent Dallas Cowboys fans, do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel because here we bring you daily videos with the latest Dallas Cowboys updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey, Cowboys Nation. Today, we're diving deep into an incredibly important update that could have major repercussions for the Cowboys' upcoming games and ultimately their playoff run. We're talking about the health status of some of their key defensive players, especially the secondary, which has been a thorny issue over the last couple of seasons. With the 2025-26 NFL season nearing its critical stretch, every bit of good news counts, and this latest update might just be the boost Dallas fans have been praying for. So, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you could change the game for the Cowboys, and you don't want to miss a single detail. Now, let's set the scene. The Dallas Cowboys, as many of you know, have been riding a roller coaster of ups and downs this season. Coming into 2025, expectations were sky high after a promising 2024, but injuries have once again thrown a wrench into their plans. The secondary, in particular, has been plagued by issues. Over the past few seasons, injuries have decimated that unit, leaving the Cowboys vulnerable in key moments. Remember last year when All-Pro cornerback Daron Bland suffered a stress fracture in his foot. That injury sidelined him for 10 games, a huge blow considering his role as the shutdown corner. Bland's absence was felt deeply, especially in critical matchups where his ability to lock down top receivers was missed. Fast forward to this season, and surprise, surprise, Bland is once again dealing with foot issues. During the Thanksgiving game, a moment that had all fans holding their breath, Bland briefly left the field, favoring his foot. The stadium was silent for a moment, many wondering if this was going to be a repeat of last year's nightmare. But here's the good news. It appears Bland avoided any major injury this time. That's right. The initial fears that perhaps Bland's season was over or that he'd face another extended absence seemed to be alleviated. Dallas's head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, addressed the media on Friday afternoon, and his words were nothing short of a relief for Cowboys fans. When asked about Bland's condition, Schottenheimer didn't mince words or try to sugarcoat the situation. He simply said, "The foot is fine." That's a phrase that, coming from a coach, carries a lot of weight. It indicates that, at least for now, Bland's injury is minor, and the team is optimistic about his readiness for the upcoming game. Schottenheimer elaborated further, revealing that Bland was indeed dealing with some foot soreness, but it's not something that's alarming or prevents him from playing. The Cowboys don't have any concern about his availability for Week 14 against the Lions, the coach added, per Patrick Walker from the team's official website. That's a huge boost. Think about it, if Bland is healthy and ready to go, it means Dallas's secondary, which has been battered by injuries, is starting to regain some stability. And let's not forget the bigger picture here. The Cowboys are also expecting the return of Trevon Diggs, another All-Pro corner who has been sidelined for most of the season due to injury. The potential reunion of Bland and Diggs in the same game could be a turning point for the secondary, which desperately needs to stabilize after a turbulent 2024 and into 2025. The secondary's health is critical because, as we all know, in today's NFL, passing games are more potent than ever, and defenses that can't keep top receivers in check are often left behind. Moreover, we have to consider the safety Malik Hooker, who also avoided serious injury on Thanksgiving. His presence in the back end of the defense adds a layer of experience and leadership that's been sorely missed when he's been out. The fact that all three, Bland, Diggs, and Hooker, are potentially healthy and available for the next few games is a game changer. Now, this isn't just about individual players returning to health. It's about how this impacts the overall dynamics of the Cowboys' defense. The secondary has been a roller coaster, sometimes holding strong, other times exposed due to injuries or miscommunications. But with the possibility of a fully healthy group, Dallas could finally tighten up their pass defense, which is essential if they want to compete with the league's best defenses. Think about the implications. A secondary with Bland, Diggs, and Hooker in top form could be the missing piece that elevates the Cowboys from a good team to a serious Super Bowl contender. So, what does this mean for their upcoming schedule? Well, the next big challenge is the game against the Detroit Lions on Thursday, December 4th, scheduled for 8:15 p.m. ET on Prime Video. The Lions have one of the most potent offenses in the NFL, led by Jared Goff and a dynamic group of receivers. If the Cowboys' secondary can hold up, especially with Bland and Diggs potentially back, they stand a real shot at containing that offense and securing a crucial victory. Remember, the Lions are trying to solidify their playoff position, and this game could be a defining moment for both teams. Looking further ahead, the Cowboys face a series of key matchups that could determine their playoff fate. The upcoming schedule includes the Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, and Giants, all divisional or conference rivals, with playoff implications on the line. A healthy secondary could be the difference maker in these games, especially since many of these teams boast strong passing attacks. The ability of Dallas's defense to limit these offenses could be the key to climbing higher in the NFC standings. But let's take a moment to analyze the bigger picture here. Why is the health of the secondary so crucial right now? Well, the Cowboys have been building around a strong defense for years, and this season's struggles have been a setback. Injuries to Bland, Diggs, and Hooker have exposed some vulnerabilities, but if they can all stay healthy, the Cowboys could finally unleash their full defensive potential. That could mean more turnovers, less yardage allowed, and crucially, more wins. And it's not just about individual talent. It's about the system and scheme. Defensive coordinator Dan Quinn has been known for his aggressive, creative defense, but even the best schemes falter if the personnel is unavailable. With key players back, Dallas can execute their blitz packages, coverages, and situational adjustments more effectively. This could be especially important in late-game scenarios where defensive stops often decide the outcome. Now, of course, we must temper expectations. Injuries are unpredictable, and even if Bland and Diggs are cleared to play, they might not be at 100%. Recovery from foot injuries, especially stress fractures, can be tricky, and re-injury remains a concern. However, the fact that the team's medical staff and coaching staff are optimistic is a positive sign. It suggests that Dallas is taking a cautious but confident approach, trying to get all their key players back on the field at the right time. As fans, we should also consider the psychological boost that comes from knowing your top players are healthy. Confidence in the secondary's ability to perform is half the battle. If Bland, Diggs, and Hooker are all on the field together, it could elevate the entire team's morale, leading to better performances on defense and, consequently, more wins. This situation also raises questions about the team's depth and future moves. Will Dallas look to add more veteran help or draft additional talent to bolster the secondary? Or will they rely on their current core and focus on injury prevention? These are strategic questions that will unfold over the coming weeks, especially if the team continues to stay healthy. Now, for all of you watching and listening, I want you to think about the implications. How might this news change your outlook for the Cowboys' playoff chances? Do you believe that a healthy secondary can catapult Dallas into the NFC Championship game? And what about the other teams in the league? Does this shift in health status make Dallas more formidable, or are there still gaps they need to address? Remember, in the NFL, injuries can be the great equalizer. A team that looks unstoppable one week can be vulnerable the next if key players go down. But right now, the Cowboys have a rare window of opportunity. Their secondary is approaching full strength at the perfect time, and that could be the spark they need to make a deep playoff run. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Dallas Cowboys news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and IT makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let's continue with the big reveal. As we look ahead, it's essential to consider the tactical adjustments that Coach Schottenheimer might implement with a healthier secondary. Expect more aggressive coverages, more blitzes to pressure Jared Goff, and perhaps even some innovative schemes to keep the Lions' offense guessing. The coaching staff's ability to adapt will be critical, especially in a game with playoff seeding on the line. The rivalry between the Cowboys and Lions isn't just about this season. It's part of a larger narrative of NFC contenders battling for supremacy. Both teams have star players and coaching staffs that are hungry for success. The outcome of this game could serve as a barometer for how far Dallas has come and how much they can still improve. It's these moments, when the chips are down but the team is healthy, that define legacies. And beyond this game, imagine the potential matchups in the playoffs. If Dallas's secondary can indeed reach full strength, they could be the team that finally puts a lid on some of the league's most explosive offenses. Think about the possibilities. A secondary with Bland, Diggs, and Hooker shutting down top-tier receivers and forcing turnovers. That's a recipe for postseason success. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The NFL is a league of unpredictable twists, and injuries are always lurking. Still, the optimism within the Dallas locker room and among fans is palpable. The team's resilience this season has been tested repeatedly, but with key players returning, the outlook brightens considerably. In conclusion, this injury update isn't just minor news. It's a potential turning point for the Cowboys' 2025-26 season. It's a testament to their resilience, their medical staff's expertise, and the coaching staff's strategic acumen. With Bland's foot injury seemingly behind them, the secondary is on the cusp of being a strength rather than a weakness. And in a league where every possession matters, having your best defenders available could be the difference between an early exit and a deep playoff run. So what's next? Well, keep your eyes glued to the news, because the coming weeks will reveal just how healthy and prepared Dallas truly is. Will they capitalize on this opportunity? Can they finally put together a complete, dominant defensive performance? That's what we'll be watching, analyzing, and discussing in the coming days. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to US and to the Dallas Cowboys. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Dallas Cowboys news.